Thank you. Well, pleasure to have all of you here. And with that, I want to introduce myself. I talk enough as it is. But Joanne, thank you so much for being with us. So, another fellow um, PMP, another fellow member of our local chapter, but also has some exceptional experience. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put myself on mute. I'm going to be here to support Joanne and talk about her journey and what she's learned from the beauty industry and how that informs project leadership and strategy and leadership in general. So I got a sneak preview of this. I think it's awesome on a whole bunch of different levels. So Joanne, thank you again for making the time and for sharing this with the chapter members today. You're up.
Great. Oh, welcome. I am Johanne Richard, PMP certified R&D professional. Sharing with you a little bit of what I learned over my years in beauty R&D. And I believe a lot of these learnings are really going to help drive success in any industry. So I will just jump right in. Oh, I'm just for the sake of the fact that I can't see anyone, I think it will be best for me to save the questions to the end, if that's
Yeah.
okay. Unless someone has a burning question, John, you can just then interrupt
I
me if
will
I.
monitor the chat, but it's all you.
Okay, great, great. All right. All right. So first, a quick welcome and introduction, and then I'll give an overview of the beauty personal care sector, and just for context and how beauty R&D operates and its domains, and then we can kind of focus on why we are here today, which is the unique approaches and the learnings. Okay, so I have been in the beauty industry for about 25 years. I started off as a lab technician, actually. Not quite sure what I wanted to do. I was a biology major, pre med. I stepped away from school and I was working at Coty. And basically, they took me in, became a chemist, studied to learn how to formulate cosmetic products, became a manager, then ultimately a director. And most of my experience covers skincare, color cosmetics. That's everything, foundation, mascaras, lipsticks, eyeshadows, all that. Some exposure to toiletries, hair care, and antiperspirants and deodorants. Now, I've also had the opportunity to work on local and global brands, covering all kinds of different markets. So, niche, some mass market, and luxury, as you could see some of the brands that I've worked with. I am PMP certified and will be getting my Disciplines Agile Value Stream consultant certification very soon, and planning to get my PGMP certification by the end of the year. My passion is connecting, collaborating, and enabling skilled, diverse individuals to work together and produce really amazing results, kind of like a conductor with an orchestra. So I'm a violinist, and I currently actually play locally with the Reno Pops Orchestra. And ever since I was young and I was studying the violin, a lot of people went the solo route, and I was like, that's nice. I get too nervous. I actually love the orchestra because it's amazing how all these instrumental sections will play at their best. It's so skilled. And when they come together with the guidance of a conductor to make the most amazing music. And I think that's what really taps into my passion, being able to see incredible value come from people collaborating and working together. So a little bit about the beauty industry. Beauty and personal care covers skincare, toiletries, color cosmetics, hair care, antiperspirants, and deodorants. And this industry is mega, mega big, as you can see by just the amount of revenue um, that's in there. Now, one of the unique things about the beauty industry is its extravagance. So, millions and millions of dollars are literally spent every day on advertising, magazine, TV ads, social media, influencers, and that's what you can see. What you don't know about, and what a lot of people may not know about, is that there are very lavish PR events and parties to get retailers, influencers, journalists excited about the brands. Here's an example of a PR event that we had for the restaging of the Max Factor brand. This brand is valued at about 350 million, and we had a technical presentation at the laboratory in Monaco, and then a beautiful evening at the Rothschild Mansion on the Riviera. So, with that extravagance comes a real demand for funding. So, our gross margins have to be over 50 or 60%, meaning that the cost per unit is constantly squeezed. The cost usually covers raw materials for the formula, the packaging, the labor to make it and put it together. And so R&D really gets the brunt of the pressure to make gourmet meals out of the cheapest ingredients in very quick, simple, inexpensive steps. So you can imagine that kind of pressure. And the reason why is whenever those gross margins drop, for example, as it happens to Estee Lauder, we are talking major layoffs. So it is quite important to hit those margins. Now, beauty R&D is basically very similar to many industries where you have the cycle of designing, building, testing, validating, and then learning from each of those product launches. The methodology that we usually use is hybrid, where we tend to have more iterations and collaborations in the idea formation, designing and creating the formulas and the packaging and all that. And then we go into more waterfall when we're going into the scaling up and production and distribution. Now, the domains that are touched by, all our projects basically are the same as every standard, project management project out there in the industry. Very, very similar to to what's out there. These are the main domains that are covered through the PMI. So I thought it would be good to kind of start there. So you can see some of the interesting similarities. Now, most of our product launch times is between 9 to 36 months, with the majority being around 12 to 18. Some SWOT analysis, just to kind of make some call outs for you. In the initiation, we usually like to have the hybrid approach, and primarily because that's, again, that agile and the mixture of the waterfall to adapt to what's needed. And one of our, I would say that would be our strength is the really good use of the hybrid. Well, I know a lot of companies are kind of like waterfall going into agile. The beauty cosmetic company has been having a really good mix of approaches for a long time. One of our weaknesses, of course, is the constant crunch for time. And this is, gives a good opportunity for more value stream mapping, something that I have been really pressing, because sometimes we have these unrealistic deadlines. It really gives a sense of failure for the company when we just keep feeling like we're missing deadlines constantly. And I think, learning from prior projects and really understanding where the value comes from would be a really big help. Next, in the planning, we're very invested in strong baseline creation. And because of the gross margin situation, we have very, very little room for baseline deviation. And this, again, can be a little bit costly sometimes, because we end up with a lot of cancellations, especially when there's a lot of investment already in a project, because of just, one thing comes off and the deviation is too much, and we have to let it go. And it just, again, it kind of kills the morale of those involved. I think a great opportunity here is again, to use the prior learnings and to really kind of gain that insight. Next, in engagement, we have technical and non-technical communications, and the disparity between our technical teams, where we have incredible scientists, PhDs, engineers, industrialists, uh, and people who are just really experts in their technical fields. And then we have non-technical, the creatives, marketings, influencers, journalists, and basically we have to communicate to both. And very you know in a way that they can really truly understand, and that's our strength, because I think we're, as an industry, we've managed to be able to do that very well. But it's also our weakness, because anytime that there's a disconnect, or something's lost in translation, we really pay for that. And I think this is a great opportunity for us, always to be stretched in our communication practices on how to relay what the big picture is, in such a way that everyone's on the same page. Next, we have the empowerment, the team management. We have some of the greatest, like, self-organizing, self-autonomous teams, self-learning teams. In the industry really has some great people there. One of our weakness, however, is middle management. A lot of times, the people who get moved into leading our teams are very good technically, but not necessarily trained on how to manage a team and how to really bring out the best in the team. And I think that's one of a big weakness in our industry. And so under that pressure, they kind of resort to micromanagement, and that kind of squashes the the self-learning, self-organizing aspect. I feel that this is a great opportunity for many middle management to get understand disciplined agile and value stream, and really, learn the skills so that they don't cut their nose to spite their face by really putting too much pressure on our teams. Now, when it comes to risk management, we have to be cool, calm, and collected. And I would tell you that project managers in the beauty industry are the coolest. From my point of view, they have to be, because we are dealing with very highly creative people. And the creatives are very, very sensitive to VUCA, the volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity, any sign of that. And things can get out of hand very quickly. So this is a great opportunity for us to show very steady roadmaps, very defined decision points, kind of simplify a big picture view, and visualize that, so everyone sees exactly where we are and what's being done. And also a great opportunity for us to give very specific data, really answering the key benefits, the messaging that they can or cannot do, with a lot of clarity. So this is kind of a really rough area for us sometimes, but we're getting better at that. Metrics. There's constant monitoring in this industry, and especially when it comes to R&D, because we have to be ahead of the current business. So there's always a lag. We're always 2 to 3 years ahead, and if we do not monitor and understand where our projects are at, um, what are the trends that need to be followed and everything, the lag will only get greater, and business will feel like they're just not getting what they need. So this can definitely be a challenge. One of the things that we find important is to use the learnings to understand where the delays are coming from, where obstacles are coming from, so that we can take care of them and be able to get our projects moving forward. When it comes to project work, tight collaboration with procurement of raw materials and packaging, plus with quality and production, is really, really important, because we have to set up product specifications, and we have to be able to scale up for launch. Now, the weakness is the fact that it's so easy for these departments to be in silos. And it gives us a good opportunity to really promote cross-functional collaboration as part of the organizational structure. In fact, having worked in many of the different structures, the one that worked the best was when we had, a very key designated procurement for each segment. So, for example, for face products and color cosmetics, we had a specific buyer who worked with us to have good relationships with our raw material suppliers and partners. And basically, without that collaboration, it's guaranteed failure. I mean, we've seen it time and time again with different projects. And lastly, in the delivery, we tend to have really good early launch results as far as it's being communicated to us. But the challenge is to see how it's sustained over the life cycle of the product and how the initial benefits of let's say that a particular brand line or a group of products, we had all these aspirations. Did we meet them? And have they held up over the years? That's the information that we tend to not have, and I think we're missing an opportunity to really build up our brands and to build long-term messaging. So it's a good opportunity for us to get that information so that we can help when it comes to restaging products and making strategic decisions on what to launch next. So now that we have an aspect of kind of the domains of the product development process for us, I just wanted to go over how I approach projects, products, and people. Um, Project management, everyone is on the same page, I think, on this one because we have great. It sounds like we have great project managers here. So it's all about delivering the value. Product management is collaborating the teams and the systems together in order to deliver that value. And lastly, people management. This is where the delivery of that value and the collaboration is going to come from. They are the ones who deliver that work when they're empowered to do the right work. So people are our biggest assets, and it's not always recognized. Sometimes with certain industries, it's all about the product, it's all about the project. But the people behind it who are delivering it really truly are our biggest asset. When we empower our people on the business side to really identify the right work to be done, um, it's it's fantastic. And then when we empower the people on the implementation side to actually execute that right work collaboratively, then you really see incredible success. So, approach to projects, you're familiar with these terms. This is the basic principles that everyone has known and seen. I think everyone would agree collaboration, effective engagement, navigating complexity, all those things are really key to navigate projects. For products, I think what I want to highlight with products is the word synergy, synergistic. It is so important to have the right, mesh of people working together and not hurting one another. So basically, they're amplifying versus minimizing the effects when they're working together. Um, it would be to use the example of the orchestra. When if the melody is in the violins and the brass are just like blowing like crazy, you won't hear the melody. It won't work. They're not meshing. They're not working together, and the beauty of the brass and the beauty of the violins are diminished because they're just not they're not coming in at the right times and in the right dynamics. And it's the same thing when it comes to creating a product. You have to be able to make sure that when we work together, it is synergistic. It's amplifying. Everything is amplified. The work that was done in the packaging team is amplified as it works together with the formula and industrialization and all that. It's super key to have, align priorities, eliminate the silos. Of course, that is very key. Also, consensus on risk responses. Very, very important. If we don't have that consensus, we have seen a lot of projects go to the wayside because of that. When it comes to risks, we're either a leader in the beauty industry, we're either a leader, a fast follower, or a late me too. That means we're a leader. That means we're the first to bring out a product with that technology, or a fast follower. Let's say L'Oreal just launched something, and we're like, okay, how quickly can we launch our own to jump on this expansion of the market? Or a late me too is once those products are out, we're kind of like, hey, we have one too. And it's all depending on the amount of risk that we're willing to take. For example, we had an incredible new technology that we found, and so it was silicone technology. And we were totally excited. We launched the product, but one of the challenges was the fact that marketing just didn't know what to do with it. They didn't know how to talk about it. So they were like, well, we could call it this, we could call it that, but they were still in the mindset of the old foundations. And we were trying to let them know, like, this is new. Like, you don't understand. This feel is incredible. It's new. It's really smooth. It feels like peach fuzz. And we're trying to give them all the ways to be able to describe it. Well, guess what? A competitor saw our product and decided, wow, that's new. And they went and they completely repositioned it in a brand new way, just really highlighting the newness of the technology, and basically took over the market. It was very disappointing for us. And it was one of the big learnings that we had to take advantage of, and to realize, if we are not willing to take the risk, not only in creating a new formula and launching it, but also the risk in marketing it and giving a message as new to the audience, to our consumers, we are going to lose out. And that was a really big example of that. So again, having that consensus on the level of risk that we're willing to take is important, and also to not shy away from that. Again, it's not about being kind of conservative, like, oh no, we're not going to do the risk, but seeing how we can align on taking the amount of risk that will still allow us to be new and innovative. And let's see here. So next, I want to talk about, I did forget to mention one thing: identifying and eliminating bottlenecks. This is really key. I want to highlight something that I learned through the years. Don't fall into the faster, faster, faster trap. Everybody, of course, in upper management is like, can we get this faster? Can we get this faster? The focus should be actually on removing delays and obstacles. And just to imagine, we're at a 5-course dinner, and if it's all about faster, you'll get your soup and your salad and your steak, and it's not a good experience, because your soup is cold, the salad is wilting, and your steak has barely any taste, it's dried. Why? Because it was all about speed instead of the right timing, so that when you get your soup, it's absolutely warm and delicious. Your salad is crisp and great, and then just when you're ready for your steak, it's absolutely perfect and ready to go, and your ice cream is not melting. So that's what's key, is that timing, and eliminating the waiting period, and or delays that would keep you from really enjoying that experience. And pretty much it's very similar in creating not only the product, but the consumer experience with that product as well. Okay, so now we can go to people management. Now I'm going to hit on some of these things in our top 5 learnings. So what I'll do is I'll start with, again, synergy. When you have people working together, you're going to have different personalities, different skills, different mindsets. And the key, a really good project manager is someone who's able to see, okay, this person can really, is very passionate and go-getter. Another person is really extremely analytical, very thorough. You want to help them to work together and to benefit one another and help one another, and learn how their skills and their diverse points of view actually can really benefit the team when they work well and collaborate well and partner well. So that's very, very important when you're managing a team. As far as the process goes, you want to keep it simple, keep it consistent. It's no matter how intelligent and smart and capable your team is, you make something complicated on top of their work, to hold the team together, or to have a process, it will backfire on you. Definitely will backfire on you. Next, I want to talk about the building on your strengths. A lot of times, managers will kind of hone in on the aspects that an individual may need work on. You really need to improve your communication skills, or you really need to improve your technical expertise in this. Um, and what I've learned over the years is that it's always better to focus on that person's strength and building on that strength. So if someone's a really great communicator, that's where you want to hone in and say, okay, how can we use this to really help you do these, succeed in these projects? And kind of seeing improvements as what do how do I need to help this person kind of remove the obstacles that are keeping them from really building on their strengths. And that, I've seen that individuals have been much more receptive and have been willing to take the feedback and the constructive build much more willing. And any test that you can do, I've done the different Myers-Briggs personality test, Clifton Strengths. That's another test that really kind of hones in on what their strengths are and how you can build on them. Next, I want to talk about the zero tolerance of drama and egos. I am very easygoing and, enjoy having fun with my team. Love to laugh and be relaxed and all that. But the time my team will see me as hard as flint is when we have drama or egos. And it's really important for them to see that is like the line they cannot cross. It makes it's such poison for a team, and I've learned this unfortunately the hard way. I've kept star performers on the team because I kept thinking, I really need their technical prowess. I really need their technical prowess, not realizing that the poison that the ego and the drama that they were bringing to the team was actually killing any productivity that I was having. And at the end, removing the star performer actually was a godsend because the team was able to rally. We were able to learn and gain the technical expertise in other ways. And our productivity and morale shot up. And it was so powerful that ever since then, I was like, that's it. I will never tolerate that again. And if my team sees a wall, that's when they see it. And they realize that that's where there's no leniency whatsoever. Next, the other thing I want to hit on is, rewarding collaboration, teamwork, and really engaging as teams and individuals. I'm going to go into more details on that. And then the best for team, individual, and me. Okay, this is as far as decision making. When you're making certain decisions, what is best for the team, what is best for the individual, and what is best for me. Most of the time we do it the opposite way. What's best for me, what I can handle, what's best for the individuals involved, and then what's best for the team. I'm going to share with you how that may not always be the best way. Let's see here. Okay, so I'll table that for a second. So we'll talk with inspiring people. Now, the key here is giving them a vision for themselves as far as, how can they be the model or the standard of collaboration and partnership? And this is something that I had the privilege of doing with one of the last teams that I worked with. It was a team that had suffered from a lot of competition. There was a lot of competitiveness, a lot of silos, very low morale. No one wanted to work together. I had PhDs and engineers, and everyone was just not respecting one another and not on the same page at all. And when I came on board, I kind of was like, okay, let's talk about where we want to be. Let's talk about the end state and the vision that I have for you as a team. And one of the things that really wanted to inspire them was to see that they could be the model and the standard for what collaboration and partnership looks like in our company. And it could be in the way that they work together, how they help one another, how they learn how to partner with different departments, how they support one another, how they actually help each other in their success, helping one another be successful. And it was really important for them to feel this. to kind of just imagine it and feel what it would be like. And of course, everyone agreed that it would be a much better state for them to work. They would feel a lot more comfortable, and it, it would be a good thing. So I said, okay, this is what we want. And in order to incentivize this, we said that basically all our rewarding, promotions, raises, recognition, it's all going to be based on the level of collaboration and partnership and teamwork that is going on in the team versus just individual performance and project deliverance. Now, this was really radical and kind of going away from how the companies were working. But it ended up being really, really, really great because once they realized we meant it, this is what we're doing, they jumped right on board. And we saw just an incredible increase in collaboration and partnership. They were helping one another. It was really fantastic. We were having weekly one-on-ones, weekly or bi-weekly one-on-ones where we really focused on their strengths, building on that. We talked about their brand and how they can invest in themselves, their future, what they wanted to see for themselves. It was great because of that, they really felt invested in and valued. And then when we were together in the team, we focused on, these are the wins that we're getting as a team. This is how, we're being perceived as a team. This is some of the feedback we're getting. And they were really getting encouraged by that. They were realizing that, wait a minute, this is a good thing. And when, by the end of the year, I told them, look, upper management has noticed. People are asking to be a part of our team because they actually see collaboration, partnership. They're hearing from different departments. Oh yeah, the I team is really the team to be working with. They're great. They're great partners. They're great collaborators. And when they were getting that feedback, just really making that a huge win for them, was incredible and definitely just boosted the productivity and the loyalty. And it was, I had them saying, oh, Joanne, I can take care of that presentation. I'll do that research. I never thought I'd hear that. But they were the ones volunteering to do the work because they were seeing how valuable it was to the team. And investing in the team and sharing those wins on a quarterly basis was really, really important and really gelled the team together. The next top 5 learning would definitely be best for the team, best for the individual, best for me, the way that we make decisions. Now, one of the things, when we have, let's say, an employee that needs help or that was having some issues with a department, it would have been easier for me to just put them aside and say, okay, I'll take over, or another team member will take over. But instead, investing the time and saying, okay, I don't want to do this, but I think it's going to be the best for the team if this person can handle the department and be able to work with them. And investing that time in them and then following up with the feedback from them and from the department that they had to collaborate with was, at the end, the best return on the investment, because I turned someone who was a kind of a problem employee to somebody who became a top performer and very loyal to the team. And next, training people on, for a return on investment mindset. This is really, really key because when you're coaching, one of the key things to coach your people on is to help them realize that it's not, recognition is not for the effort you put in. You can put in a lot of effort into a project, but what is the impact? What are the results? Is the impact, was there any impact? Was the impact even adverse? Or was there an impact where there was a greater approvals, better communication, better understanding, we're able to streamline the process, all kinds of positive impacts that will help the team, will help the business ultimately. And when people realize that that's where you want to be focused on, you really can help them to be thinking, okay, whatever I do, I always want to be thinking, what's the return on investment? What kind of impact is going to come from this? And how can I get the most impact from it? This is really going to help with reproducibility. I've seen this time and time and again, where I would coach someone, and then within a week or two, and they've implemented it, I would then ask for their feedback, and they would tell me, okay, Joanne, wow, this it worked so much better. I was able to get the message through. I was able to get the data that they wanted. We were able to collaborate better, and we were able to achieve the testing that needed to be done. And then I would call that department and see what their feedback was, because it's always good to hear both sides. And what was awesome is when I got that feedback from the other department saying, thank you, Joanne, we can really see a big difference with this person. It really is helping us work with your team, and you're the team that we love working with, because you guys actually listen to us and help us collaborate better. So another learning that has helped a lot is, learning how to say yes. In the beauty industry, they don't want to hear no. No one wants to hear no. And one thing is, I'm like, okay, everyone wants to hear yes, but they do need to hear what all the conditions that are needed for that yes to happen. And showing them, okay, we're willing to do this, but this is how we're going to approach it. So we were given a real doozy of a request. We had one new formula. They wanted to launch it in 4 separate brands at the same time, but so they had to have different packs and different positioning, because they can't look like the same product, even though the ingredient listing looks very similar. Usually, in the past, we've always said, "Oh, it's complicated. It's just a lot of work. We'd rather not do that. We just want to use, different formulas." But instead, I said, you know what? What do we need to say yes? What needs to happen to say yes? And I said, we can say yes if we have a dedicated pack partner for each brand, time allocated to actually screen test the different options, and complete R&D involvement in all the messaging, from the PR, the public releases, the advertisements, the storyboards, and all of that. They agreed, and we basically worked on this together through the pandemic, which was crazy. But it was such a great success because at the end, basically the only color launches that were able to be done in FY22 and 23 were these mascaras. And we were able to add to revenue during a really, really rough period of time. And so being able to say yes with clarity on those conditions not only allowed us to hit the goal, but it really allowed our team to be solutions minded, forced clarification from the creatives, and established really clear parameters. And at the end, everybody won. We had some good business. Finally, innovation, and this one is so important, because I know in all of your industries there's a lot of innovation. Innovation flows out of a place where you're able to fail. You have an organic flow and an unforced collaboration, and definitely no pressure. We would allocate a period of time for people to play, for the chemists, the PhDs, the engineers to play with the new technologies. And we would say, this is your no pressure time. There's no deadlines here. Just play. Have fun. Look at the technologies. Just hack at it. And out of that, we were able to come up with some really great, beautiful emulsification systems that gave us wonderful feeling makeup. The CK1 liquid makeup was like a star product in that launch. And it was such a success that marketing was like crying, can we have a version for mass? Of course, the CK1 was $25 a kilo, and they wanted to, for mass, it had to be $5 a kilo. Again, gourmet meal on cheap ingredients. But the team, I remember sitting down with the team and saying, okay, guys, I told them, we need this period of time, but there's no pressure. If we get there, we get there. If we don't, that's fine. We'll find an alternate. But I just want to free you guys up to play. Because innovation basically is taking what's already existing and then connecting it in new ways and having things work synergistically in new ways that hasn't been done before. And to have that creativity, to be able to play in that way, you need to give room for your teams, the space for your team to be thinking that way. And so they did, and we were able to hit that, and we were able to launch the Rimo Foundation. And it was part of a pack of launches that led double-digit growth in the brand at the time. So, again, key takeaways that I just want to really quickly go over. People are your biggest asset. Manage them as such. Reward calibration, partnership, and teamwork more than individual performance, and you will see a lot more of that in your teams. Be willing to make sacrifices. At the end, it will be a much greater return on investment. Coach return on investment mindset into your team, and you'll see the success reproduce itself. Learn to say yes with all the conditions needed, and showing how it is a benefit to all involved. And at the end, promote innovation, no pressure, unforced, and allow that to deliver the results. So, any questions? I know we only have a few minutes, but I do want to open up for questions, and I'm going to make my screen a little